SB 518 was passed and signed into law recently. That bill creates a new state bureau called the Bureau for Descendants of American Slavery. And that bill was, again, signed into law recently, and that bill will take effect soon. And some things will be happening on that bill or on that new bureau soon. So that's not something that we supported, though, and you know that. And we didn't support that for a number of different reasons. And I think it's important for people to hear why. And this will answer your question and really talk about what the differences are between what was passed and signed recently and what we wanted and what we pushed for back the year before with Senator Bradford, as you mentioned, Senator Stephen Bradford's bill, Senate Bill 1403.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me make sure my audio is good. Ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the audio is good and we are ready to roll. So today we're going to be talking about AB 2723. My name is Umoya with Emin the Mass Media Group. And as always, humbled and so appreciative to our good brother who is in the digital building right now, Mr. Chris Lodgson. How you doing, sir?
Brother, blessings to you, brother. Big love to the ETM Media family. What's up, Umoya? What's up, Ken? What's up, family on YouTube and across the world and planet? What's up? What's going on, brother? I'm so glad that we're not on camera because I'm wearing the exact same shirt that I was wearing in that, in that clip you showed. I'm so glad we not doing. I would love for the family to be able to see me and me to be able to see the family. But when I saw that, I said, "Thank God I'm not on camera right now."
That's hilarious, bro. Well, today, man, and people who are viewing, please like, share, and subscribe. We greatly appreciate that. We're going to get into some quick housekeeping, and then we're going to get into why we're here today. We're going to be reading AB 2723, and obviously doing a deep dive into it. Go to etmmediagroupstore.com. That's etmmediagroupstore.com. Get your latest merch. We greatly appreciate it. That should be in the link in the description. Also, if you do shop on Amazon, click on that affiliate link. That will be in the affiliate link description below. And also, definitely check out Reparations, the documentary. All right. That was originally released in 2023, Juneteenth. So that's currently out. You can check that out. And we are going to be releasing part 2 shortly. You just saw a clip with our good brother, Chris Lodgson. And it's going to be a phenomenal documentary. That's all I know. So you just got a quick glimpse of what we're going to be talking about. But yeah, we have some wonderful interviews with that. And I was so appreciative of all the participants and all the advocates and everybody who participated in it. So thank you very much. That includes people from Northern California all the way down to Southern California. All right. And actually this Sunday, we have our good sister, Tiffany Quarles, who's actually in the documentary as well, and a reparationist and an advocate with CJEC as well, Coalition for a Just and Equitable California. So we're going to be talking about the potential LA Freedmen office. So hopefully that will work out. There's a lot of, you gonna say something, bro?
Man, I was just going to say, wow. I love that. Shout out to Tiffany and the whole LA Family Leap Lineage Equity Advancement Project. Shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to the whole Africatown family. I mean, shout out to the whole LA, no matter what, who. Thank you so much for all the work you're doing. And shout out to the amazing work that I see about to happen in LA with a potential city of LA Freedmen office, if I'm not mistaken, if it's city or county. I'm not sure. Either way, that's a good idea. That's a good thing. So yeah, big love to that. Sacramento, I hope you're watching. Bay Area, I hope you're watching. Inland Empire, hope you watching. Central California, hope you watching. Northern, up past Sacramento, no matter where you at, I hope you watching. This is happening.
Absolutely. And you know, we cover reparations actually all across the country. And Philly, brother, Philly's looking to do the same out there too. And actually
Philly,
use Freedmen, the name Freedmen. Can you believe that?
come on. It's the Freedmen era.
Absolutely, bro. So if anyone hasn't had a chance, you can go back. We did some highlights of I guess they had I guess it's called the LA Reform Commission hearing. So the bill did pass, or the recommendation did pass, and so that's going to go on to the city council to go vote, and that's what we're going to be talking about with Tiffany on Sunday, so she can further elaborate and give us some updates onto when they're going to be voting on this potential recommendation. So shout out to the good brothers and sisters down there in Southern California. Shout out to Leap.
Shout out to Leap, brother. Can I say one thing real quick? Shout out to Leap. Also, I want to do a quick plug. Tiffany gonna do this anyway, but I'm gonna steal it from her right now. March 28th in LA. Leap, same amazing people and others who are going to be joining them from the public, and hopefully you are one of them too if you're watching in the LA area. March 28th, join Leap for a genealogy workshop and genealogy event. And Tiffany's going to give you more information, but you know Leap is hosting an event on March 28th, and I'm not even going to mess this up. Guess what? I'm going to do this exactly the right way. I'm going to do it 100% right, because I think it has to be done the right way, and I think Leap and the family deserve that. So let me do it properly. All right. So it's called Roots to Repair: Tracking Black American Lineage for Justice and Reparations, a community genealogy event. This is Saturday, March 28th at 3 p.m. at the Los Angeles Family Search Center, 1591 East Temple Way, Los Angeles, California, 90024. For more information, go to the Leap official page on Twitter, on Instagram. Go to the CJEC official page on Twitter, on Instagram. Also, RSVP, there's a QR code, there's a link. RSVP, let the family know you come. It's a free event, free parking, free attendance, free connection to your ancestors. Genealogists will be on site to connect you and answer questions for you and help you know how and then trace your own ancestry. And it really does connect a lot to what we're going to talk about today, brother, because we know for a fact that our people can and do know how to trace their ancestry. We don't need to study how to do that for years. We don't need no government offices to tell us that a study has to happen first. We know how to do that. People are doing that, and this is a real life example of that. And so please do come out March 28th, RSVP, you know where to go.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, brother. So I guess that we're going to segue right into why we came. So
Bang.
For those who are new to this platform, we actually read bills for real, go through it, analyze it. And if you have any questions or comments or feedback, go ahead and leave it in the chat and we'll try to answer them as we go along. But thanks, everyone. We really appreciate your time and energy into this. You gonna say something, brother?
Yeah, just real quick. I just wanted to give a big shout out to the ETM Media family for just obviously for all that you are and do and have done since day one. You are the top reparations, reparative justice, lineage, media in the state, hands down. That's just clear. You at the top. But I just want to acknowledge this, that you're the only platform, this is the only platform that I've seen actually read bills. Actually read them, read the actual language of what the bills actually say, not talk about what somebody else said it says. We do that too, but we look at, we get it from the actual source. I just want to acknowledge that. Thank you. Let's rock.
All right, appreciate that. And you know what they say, brother, and I don't know if you've heard it or anybody else has heard it. If you want to hide something from black people, put it in a book or put it in the legislation
or put it in the bill
or put it in the bill. So we're not going to hide anything. We're actually going to read it. All right, brother. So let's get busy, family. All right. AB 2723, the California American Freedmen Affairs Division Resident Registry. All right, Assembly Bill number 2723. And this was introduced on February 20th, 2026 by Assembly Member Tanjipa. All right, and Chris, obviously we're going to do our comments later, but if you want to give the people some idea on who Assembly Member Tanjipa is, we'll get to that later. But I just wanted to put a pin in that.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. An act to amend section 11041 of and to add Article 8, commencing with section 12280 to chapter 3 of part 2 of division 3 of title 2 of government code relating to state government. Legislative Council's Digest, AB 2723, as introduced, Tanjipa. The California American Freedmen Affairs Division Resident Registry, former law until July 21st, 2023, established the task force to study and develop reparation proposals for African Americans with a special consideration for African Americans who are descendants of persons enslaved in the United States. Former law required the task force to, among other things, identify, compile, and synthesize the relevant corpus of evidentiary documentation of the institution of slavery that existed within the United States and the colonies, as specified, and to recommend the form of compensation that should be awarded, the instrumentalities through which it should be awarded, and who should be eligible for this compensation. This bill would establish the California American Freedmen Affairs Division as a division within the Secretary of State's office. The bill would specify that the purpose of the division is to verify resident status as an American freedman, as defined, and create and maintain an accurate database registry of American freedmen residents. This bill would require the division to, upon appropriation by the legislature, implement the provisions of this bill, including establishing by July 1st, 2028, the American Freedmen Genealogy Office within the division to verify a resident status as an American freedman, and establishing the Office of Freedmen Legal Affairs to conduct and manage its legal affairs. The bill would require the division to, among other things, develop a mission statement and strategized plan for the division and a matrix and metrics of success for the offices of the division. This bill would require, commencing January 1st, 2029, and every 3 years thereafter, the division to submit a report to the legislature on its activities and performance. The bill would also require, commencing January 1st, 2030, and every 5 years after, through the California State Auditor, the legislature to request performance and financial audits of the division and make recommendations for the improvement or corrective legislation. This bill would prohibit personal information of American freedmen residents obtained under these provisions for or from being shared outside the division, except as necessary to fulfill the division's purposes. The bill would also require interagency sharing of personal information about American freedmen residents to be limited to demographics only, except as necessary to fulfill the division's purposes. The bill would prohibit the division from using any division resources, including but not limited to division funds, personnel, and infrastructure to directly or indirectly participate or assist in law enforcement activity. Existing law prohibits a state agency, with certain exceptions, from employing any in-house counsel to act on behalf of the state agency or its employees in any judicial or administrative adjudicative proceeding in which the agency is interested or is a party as a result of office or official duties, or contracting with outside counsel for any purpose without the consent of the Attorney General. This bill would exempt the division from those prohibitions. Existing constitutional provisions require that a statute that limits the right of access to the meetings of public bodies or the writings of public officials and agencies be adopted, with findings demonstrating the interests protected by the limitation and the need for protecting that interest. This bill would make legislative findings to that effect. Vote majority. Appropriation, no. Fiscal committee, yes. Local programming, no. Chris, I think that might be halfway. Let's see. Yeah, that's about halfway, brother.
Damn, I feel like halfway. Hear ye. The people of the state of California do enact as follows. Section 1, Section 11041 of the Government Code is amended to read 11041. A. Section 11042 does not apply to to the office of the governor, the regents of the University of California, the trustees of the state of California, legal division of the Department of Transportation, Division of Labor Standards and Enforcement of the Department of Industrial Relations, Workers' Compensation Appeal Board, Public Utilities Commission, State Compensation Insurance Fund, Legislative Council Bureau, Inheritance Tax Department, Secretary of State, State Lands Commission, Alcoholic Beverage Control Appeals Board, except when the board affirms the decision of the Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control, Department of Cannabis Control, except in proceedings in state or federal court, State Department of Education, Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, California American Freedmen Affairs Division, and treasurer with respect to bonds, nor to any other state agency by law enacted after Chapter 213 of the statutes of 1933 is authorized to employ legal counsel. B, the trustees of the California State University shall pay the cost of employing legal counsel from their existing resources. Section 2, Article 8, commencing with Section 12280, is added to Chapter 3 of Part 2 of Division 3 of Title 2 of the Government Code to read, Article 8, California American Freedmen Affairs Division, 12280. The legislature finds and declares that the state of California requires an institution that identifies and recognizes American freedmen who reside within the state, as well as their families and their communities. Because American freedmen are a foundational American population, having made significant and unique contributions to the state of California since its inception, and continue to do so today. The state has a responsibility, therefore, to recognize and identify this historic American population in an effort to better target policies that serve the needs of this population. 12281. For the purposes of this article, American freedmen means the legal and political status inherited by the posterity of the 4 million freed men and women who were emancipated nationally from American chattel slavery. That's A. B, direct line means matrilineal or patrilineal descent. C, division means the California American Freedmen Affairs Division. D, emancipated means gaining freedom from slavery by or before 1865 by way of any of the following: the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution, the Emancipation Proclamation, being contraband under the Confiscation Acts, being a fugitive in accordance with Clause 3 of Section 2 of Article 4 of the U.S. Constitution or the Fugitive Slave Acts, freedom suits, gradual abolition, emancipation in any state, purchasing their own freedom, manumission by owners, enlisting and fighting for the Patriots during the American Revolution. E, resident means a person who has established current residency in the state of California for at least 6 consecutive months. 12282. A, the California American Freedmen Affairs Division is hereby established within the Secretary of State's office. The division's purpose shall be to verify a resident status as an American freedman and to create and maintain an accurate database registry of American freedmen residents as set forth in this article. B, the division shall, upon appropriation by the legislature, implement the provisions of this article. 12283. The division shall take all of the following actions. A, establish and maintain an accurate database registry of all American freedmen residents. B, establish the American Freedmen Genealogy Office as described in Section 12286. C, establish the Office of Freedmen Legal Affairs as described in Section 12287. D, maintain a mission statement and strategic plan for the division and a matrix of metrics of success for the offices in the division. E, make contact with and verify resident status as American freedmen. F, engage with and educate American freedmen residents about division and state policies and resources available to them. G, assist other state agencies in evaluating their programs for accessibility and effectiveness in providing services to American freedmen residents. H, coordinate and collaborate with the legislature, the governor, existing state agencies and departments, and California colleges, community colleges, and universities to support the division's goals. I, engage stakeholders inside and outside of government to identify key opportunities and challenges, and to communicate the critical importance and foundational role of state support for American freedmen residents, their families, and their communities. J, work directly with California-based media organizations, including those that have historically served American freedmen communities in California, as well as new media organizations and entities to fulfill the division's purpose. K, establish partnerships as necessary to fulfill its responsibilities under law. 12284A, notwithstanding Division 10, commencing with Section 7920.000 of Title I of any other law, personal information of American freedmen residents obtained under this article shall not be shared outside the division except as necessary to fulfill the division's purposes. B, interagency sharing of personal information about American freedmen residents shall be limited to demographics only, except as necessary to fulfill the division's purposes. C, the division shall adhere to all applicable data protection laws in order to protect the personal information of American freedmen residents. D, notwithstanding any other law, the division shall not use any division resources, including but not limited to division funds, personnel, and infrastructure to directly or even indirectly participate or assist in law enforcement activity. 12285. A, notwithstanding Section 10231.5, commencing January 1, 2029, and every 3 years afterwards, the division shall submit a report to the legislature on its activities and performance. The report shall be submitted in compliance with Section 97.95. B, commencing January 1, 2030, and every 5 years after that, through the California State Auditor, the legislature shall request performance and financial audits of the division and make recommendations for improvement or corrective legislation. 12286. By July 1, 2028, the division shall establish the American Freedmen Genealogy Office to verify resident status as an American freedman. The office shall take all of the following actions. A, create a process to verify a resident status as an American freedman. The verification process of an American freedman of a resident status as an American freedman shall include standards no less stringent than providing documentation showing that an individual has at least 4 lineal ancestors who were subject to chattel enslavement in the United States between the years of 1776 and 1865 at least, and documentation showing that the individual has a direct line of ancestors from an enslaved ancestor to that individual themselves. B, partner with public libraries to provide no-cost expert genealogical research services and related support to assist residents with verifying their status as an American freedman. C, consult with professionally certified genealogical associations, genealogical organizations, and subject matter experts to fulfill its duties. 12287, by July 1, 2028, the division shall establish the Office of Freedmen Legal Affairs to conduct and manage its legal affairs. The office shall take all of the following actions. A, provide legal advice, counsel, and services to the division, its officials, and the legislature. B, ensure the division's programs comply with legislative authority. C, serve as an external liaison on legal matters with other state agencies and entities. Section 3, the legislature finds and declares that Section 2 of this act, which adds Article 8, commencing with Section 12280 to Chapter 3 of Part 2 of Division 3 of Title 2 of the Government Code, imposes a limitation on the public's right of access to the meetings of public bodies or the writings of public officials and agencies within the meaning of Section 3 of Article 1 of the California Constitution. Pursuant to that constitutional provision, the legislature makes the following findings to demonstrate the interest protected by this limitation and the need of protecting that interest. In order to protect the privacy of California residents, while also gathering and publicizing useful demographic data, it is necessary that personal identifying information remain confidential. And that haven't done that in a while.
Woo, thank you, sir. Well done.
That was fun.
That was fun, brother. That was fun. Before we actually take a deeper analysis of this, I wanted to play a video because I think it's important why we are here at this particular moment. So first of all, let me do this.
Oh yeah.
That bill is straight fire. That bill is straight fire. All right, and I'm gonna play this clip, and then we will get into, I guess, the second half of analyzing this bill. Here we go.
Assemblymember Saley, what purpose do you rise?
Madam Speaker, I ask that we take up file item 71, SB 1331.
Mr. Saley, we are not at that item at the moment. We are still working on the concurrence list.
Pick it up.
We're currently not on that item. We're currently working on the concurrence list.
So will we be getting to that item?
Well, we're currently working on the concurrence list at the moment.
Well, I'll make a motion that we take it up now.
Is there, Mr. Asali is asking to suspend the rules to take it up. Is there a second? No second. Motion.
Second.
Was there a second? Nope. There's no motion. We're going to go ahead and move to item number 109, AB 544. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 544 by us.
What a sad day, brother. What a sad day. Not one Republican or one Democrat, brother, seconded that motion.
You know, brother, that was a day. It felt mixed during that day. And I think, to be quite honest, that day is going to go down in history as one of the most important days of this work, because it's going to be a part of the story that we tell after we have our reparations, after we have our genealogy system in place, after AB 2723 is into law, etc., and after the cash payments and checks are cutting and getting cut and keep coming. That's going to be one of the most important days. So during that day, it felt mixed, brother. There was definitely some down energy, but there was also most of it. To be honest, we walked out of that day 1, 2, 3 in the morning out of the Capitol. To be honest, we walked out at 1, 2, 3 in the morning. We felt. I don't think I ever felt more determined. Like I felt like this is happening. Like we are doing this. So I'm thankful to God for that day, to be honest. God got his plan, the answers got their plans. And, we don't know what they are until it's over. So, yeah, what a day.
What a day it was, brother. August 31st, 2024. So let's get into this bill, brother. Do you want to explain who Assemblymember Tanjifa is?
Yeah, let me start there. But if I could, actually, let me pick up right where we left off and then kind of connect where we were then to where we are now, right? So, there's some that was the clip you showed was from 2024. There's stuff that happened, that year and then last year and then and now we're here. So let me make the connection clear, and I know we'll make it clear as we go through the next time the next part of our talk here. By the way, again, big shout out to everybody that's here listening or going to be here listening and watching. Appreciate y'all for being here. This is the first time we are publicly reading AB 2723. So just a big appreciation to everybody who's listening and watching. Please do share, like, comment, subscribe, all that. So we have the stuff that happened in 2024. And then in 2025, what we were told was that there were going to be some bills that were going to make up for what happened in 2024. And instead of that, we got bills that made what happened in 2024 actually worse. So this year in 2026, we have taken it upon ourselves and we are putting forward a proposal, introducing a bill. We have a bill and a proposal right now to fix and solve a big problem that was caused in 2024 and 2025. And that's what this bill is about. Fixing what happened and to be honest, not just fixing it, but putting in place a system that's even better than the one. I'm just gonna be honest. I think it's even better than the one that we started with. So this is as much about fixing something that happened that was wrong as it is about doing something that none of us have even done before. Doing something special good. So about the author real quick to your question. So the author of this bill is Assemblymember David Tongi, but he's a Republican who represents the California 8th Assembly District, that covers, Fresno, that's Inyo, Madera, Mariposa, Mona, Tuolumne counties. He's originally from the Sacramento. I believe he's originally from South Sacramento, if I'm not mistaken. Last time I talked to him, if I'm not mistaken, he did say that he was from Sacramento and has a lot of roots in Sacramento and et cetera, et cetera. So, he represents right now Central California, Fresno, Calaveras, et cetera, but he's a San Joaquin and, San Joaquin Valley, Sacramento native. He's a first generation American, a son of a veteran. He is the vice chair right now of the Assembly Budget Committee. And he's on the Committee on Appropriations, Human Services, Housing Committee. Let me give you a little bit more personal, though. Mr. Tongipa is someone who's had his genealogy and ancestry traced. Mr. Tongipa is someone who knows what it means to delineate, as someone who is Tongan and someone who is within the AAPI community, but also has a specific respect and focus on his particular part of the AAPI community. So this is something that he knows, he understands. He's also someone who, no matter what you think about any position or any bill that anybody else has taken or that he's taken, no matter what, this is someone who, and from my own personal experience, who believes in this cause, who thinks that the state does need a way that's good and right to help our people claim our status and stand up and be counted. This is a no-brainer. He's also someone that who agrees with us that what happened last year and the year before were very bad things that need to be fixed, not just on the political stuff, but on the actual stuff that happened last year. We're going to talk about what actually happened last year, because to me, what happened last year is arguably worse than what happened on 8/31/2024, even though both of them are bad. Thank you, brother. I see you got the picture, brother. Thank you up there as well. Thank you. I'm gonna keep rocking, brother. But before I do or say anything else, what do you think about that, brother? Just from your own perspective, you was there last year when we came out with the bill AB 1315, which was authored by Assemblymember, Bill Assaili, who was, I say promoted by President Trump to go work for him and and be one of the U.S. attorneys. This year we have 2723 with David Tongipa. Just from your own reactions, brother, what is your make of the reaction from this year compared to last year?
Well, that's very interesting, man, that you, and I'm just going to speak from more so a media perspective.
Yes, sir.
Because when we talk about the CLBC, and I'll also like to take it back as well, starting in 2024, because we definitely had a pretty good surge going into that legislative session, right? That was obviously with, members, with members, why am I forgetting his name? 1331.
Talking about Senator Stephen Bradford.
Thank you, Senator Stephen Bradford, right, and the like. So we had that group going in, and then obviously with SB 518 and some of those other bills, SB 437, those. It seemed like it started to simmer down a little bit. They had press conferences in 2024 and 2025. But we're in 2026, and as far as I'm aware, there hasn't been any press conference media scheduled, as far as I'm aware. I don't know. You might know
Same here.
something different.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about what you were saying as you were talking. You are absolutely right. Every year, let's make it plain for the family too. Every year, in usually Black History Month, right? Usually like January or Black History Month, either like around MLK Day. So between MLK Day and the end of Black History Month, there is a press conference and you said CLBC. Let's make the family know what that is, right? That CLBC means California Legislative Black Caucus. So that's what the brother means when he says CLBC. And usually every year there is a press conference by this group, which is made up of the legislators, senators, assembly people at the state level in California who self-identify as Black or African American. So that's the group of state assembly people, state senators who self-identify as Black or African American. Those people are organized into something they call the California Legislative Black Caucus.
So brother, on that note, I want to ask you that.
Sure.
That so far as you're aware, does the CLBC have any bills strictly related to American freedmen going into this legislative season?
Brother, the answer is no. I mean, and unless I'm missing something, and I'm looking, there are, and let's say this plain, and this is something that needs to be said again and again because it's true. People need to know this. There are, with one exception, there are 0 bills this year for descendants of people who were enslaved in this country. With one exception. You're looking at the exception right now. The only person who has a bill for descendants of people who were enslaved in this country specifically this year is Republican Assemblymember David Tangipa. That's and brother, I'm going to enlist your help and enlist the help of the public right now too to prove to me that I'm lying. Help me prove myself wrong, because I would love to be wrong about this. But I look and track bills. I look at bills. I'm looking for bills every day. I can do a search. I can search. We have AI. We have Google. We can search for bills. There are 0 bills with one exception. Except for us, there are no bills for people who are descendants of those who were enslaved in this country at all this year. Let me tell you why. Okay. Let me tell you mostly why. There's more, but let me tell you mostly why. Because exactly what we said was going to happen if the state passed those 2 bills that we were fighting against last year, Senate Bill 518 and Senate Bill 437. Because those bills passed last year, this year, we have no bills for descendants of people who were enslaved in this country. Exactly what we said was going to happen if you pass those bills is now happening.
Why do you think that? Have you heard anything from the CLBC, or what's your humble opinion?
My humble and honest opinion, brother, I'm just going to say it out. It is not. It's not as much even as my opinion. I'm going to tell you what we hear and what we've been hearing from legislators in their offices. People who we've been going to and saying, "Hey, here's a great idea for our cash payments. Hey, here's a great idea for a better way to do genealogy. Hey, here's a great idea for delineation. Hey, here's a great idea to help our folks who were impacted by the fires and the wildfires down there. Here's a great idea to help our youth who are descendants." What we've been hearing directly out their mouths is, great idea, but let's wait for the study and the Bureau first. Literally. Okay, literally. And then the next question is, well, when is the study in the Bureau going to happen and be done? The answer to that question is, we can't tell you. It's at least 3 to 5 years if you ask us. That's because the study, which was put into law by Senate Bill 437 last year. One of the bills that I just mentioned that we were fighting against, that bill created a 3 to 5 year study of genealogy before any genealogy could actually happen. In that bill, that genealogy study is on a deadline to be done by the start of the 2029-2030 academic school year. And it's on a school year deadline because that study is being done by the California State Universities. So 2029-2030 for the study to be done, the Bureau of the Genealogy Office that depend on it, which were signed into law through Senate Bill 518, the other bill that we were fighting against last year, that Bureau has to wait on the study before it can start doing anything. So we're talking at least 5 years or so, 3 to 5 years or so from when the bills got into law last year. That's the most generous, I think, most generous timeline. It could be way longer, but the short answer is we have no idea. So people need to hear this. People need to know this. People need to tell other people this. This is a big problem. There are people here in Sacramento, legislators, politicians, elected officials, etc., who have said we will not do anything for your people because we have to study more. We have to put another government office in first place. 2723, our bill says we have a better way. First, 2723, our bill doesn't need a study first. Our system, our bill, our proposal does not need a study. You didn't see no study you didn't hear the word study anywhere in this bill. You heard the word research one time, and that's to help you research your ancestors, not the CSUs to research how you research your ancestors. Big difference. Big difference. Our bill puts genealogists to work really as soon as possible. As soon as possible. So there's a lot to say here.
Should we go to I guess let's start off with where this, I know at one point in the beginning it was going to be made an agency. Now we have a bureau. Now it looks like this is going to be, if I'm correct, a division. So where is this division going to be housed in?
Yes. And why too, right? So this bill creates a division called the California American Freedmen Affairs Division, which would be inside of the Secretary of State's existing office. So that's where this division, this Freedmen Affairs entity would start. That's where ours is starting. The other thing, the Bureau for Descendants of American Slavery, that was created by Senate Bill 518 that I talked about just a little while ago that we didn't like, et cetera, because of a few different reasons. That Bureau is right now inside of the law enforcement agency known as the Civil Rights Division. So there's a law enforcement agency in California called the Civil Rights Division who are responsible largely, I believe, for enforcing civil rights law. That's where this Bureau for the Descendants of American Slavery will live when it is born 5 years from 5 years or so from now. The original proposal from the California Reparations Task Force is to create a standalone independent agency called the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency. So those 3 points are important. What the State Reparations Task Force recommended and what these 2 bills are recommending. Now, let me talk a little bit about why the Secretary of State's office we think is the right place to start with this. I think it's kind of, yes, you can talk about the fact that the Secretary of State right now is Dr. Shirley Weber, who was the author of the bill to create California's Reparations Task Force. So it makes some sense to connect this to her, yes, but that's more morally, more symbolically. There's definitely some value to that. But there is some other and I think even more important reasons to connect it to the Secretary of State's office. First thing is the Secretary of State's office already has and does genealogy and records and record searching and lets people search for his historical records through the California State Archives. The Secretary of State's office already has a database and a registry and a repository of historical records that are used by genealogists and family researchers and researchers every single day, and genealogists every single day. And if you don't believe me, if you think I'm BSing, you can go online yourself and look at the Secretary of State's website and the genealogy links on the Secretary of State's website right now. Right now. So there's already existing stuff for genealogy there. Let's keep it real. The Secretary of State's office also helped members of the state legislature get their genealogy done not too long ago too. So there have been genealogy workshops and projects. I believe the office worked with FamilySearch.org and the Mormon Church, which has one of the largest, if not the largest, records database for us anyway. That entity helped the Secretary of State's office not too long ago do genealogy out of that office through the California State Archives in some way. So there's existing stuff already there. That's good. That's good. What we do and what our proposal does is it takes the existing stuff, adds a missing piece called the Freedmen Affairs Division, and then coordinates and connects the existing stuff with the new stuff to make a system that actually works fast and is accurate. One of the things that is going to be a big problem for that bureau that will start and be born 5 years from now is that although it's called the Bureau for Descendants of American Slavery, it's not actually specifically and exclusively for descendants of American slavery, depending on how you define that. There's language in that bureau that says, there's language in the bill that created the bureau last year that says, this bureau will expand to serve both descendants and ... other people. Ours division, Freedmen Affairs 2723, specifically exclusively for us, is not we don't mention any other group at all. Why would we? Why would we put our name and our history and our families' stories and blood, sweat, and tears and contributions and inheritance in a place, in a space, in an entity, and then open that up to other people who people did not do that? That would be disrespectful to our ancestors.
Absolutely. Hey, brother, just real quick.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to put SB 518 if people want to do a comparative study. I do have it on the screen right now, so I'm going to make sure to put that link in the chat if everybody wants to do a comparative study. But yes, I'm sorry, sir. Please continue. No
worries, brother. No worries. And by the way, family, everything I'm saying right now, would love for folks to you'll take a look at the CJEC website and look at the work page, and specifically the California American Freedmen Affairs Division page. There's an entire page specifically set up. There's an entire. It's not a page. It's more than a page. There's an entire system there that specifically speaks to what I'm saying today about AB 2723. So as I mentioned, the Secretary of State's office matters and makes sense for a few different reasons. As you may have heard in our bill, the Secretary of State's office and the California State, archives, that office is then connected to the public libraries across the state, specifically the over 1,000 public libraries across the state, and empowers them to be places where you can go locally in your own community and get your genealogy done. We're not asking you to come from San Diego to Sacramento to get your genealogy done in this office or in that bureau. We're not doing that. We're not asking you elders to go online and download a new app either. Okay. And we're not doing that. And then upload your family history documents to some server somewhere. No, we're bringing the genealogy to us, to you. Okay. So big difference, big difference. Our proposal has a plan for that. The other proposal plan has a study for that. What do you want, a study or plan? I think we want a plan, and we want more than a plan. We want a plan that is action, right? Another reason to mention the Secretary of State's office. So the Secretary of State's office is maybe semi, but largely in many ways independent of the governor's office. The Secretary of State is not appointed by the governor. So the Secretary of State's office and this Freedmen Affairs office would be more independent from whether or not the governor likes us, who the governor is. That is more in line with what the State Reparations Task Force recommended. If you think back to what I said earlier about the Reparations Task Force recommendation for what the task force wanted, shout out to Camilla Moore and the right. The task force wanted an independent, standalone agency. Okay? Our proposal is closer to that than the other thing. Our proposal puts our division in an independent, standalone agency. It's just not its own standalone agency itself. So we put our stuff in the direction where we're supposed to be going. The other thing last year is in a law enforcement agency controlled by the governor. Damn.
Hey, Chris, so I
Yes,
have SB 518 up on the screen. I believe it's the Civil Rights Department. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's for SB. So what do you see as the issue being underneath the Civil Rights Department for this current bureau?
I think there's a few things. One, it's a law enforcement agency. I just have to start there. And I've said that to folks in the past, and people have said, "Hey, Chris, well, they enforce civil rights law." And then I asked them, "Do you think civil rights are good or bad for us in this state? Do you think our civil rights are in good shape or bad shape?" Okay. And then I want you to rethink the question that you asked me about whether or not it's okay that it's in a law enforcement agency that's better than the other law enforcement agency. So we're like comparing which law enforcement agency is better to put our stuff in. Horrible discussion to be having about reparations or anything about this. So that's a big problem. That bureau that's born 5 years from now that they're going to ask us to go into here in Sacramento is going to be inside of a law enforcement agency. That's going to what impact does that have? That's going to discourage people from wanting to participate. That's going to discourage people from participating, from going to it, from looking for it. Here's another big problem. The Civil Rights Department is almost unknown entity. We didn't know it existed until now. So part of our job is to make it would be much better to have an entity where people actually know what it is, or at least heard of it before. Have you heard of the Civil Rights Division, brother?
This is pretty relatively new from my understanding.
Right. I mean, now, big love to everybody over there. I'm not, this is not an attack on the people who work there, but this is bigger than that. So there's a unknown, we don't know what this is problem, and that's going to impact people's taking part of it. Something that's already going to be a challenge and an opportunity for us to make known. It's better to start with something that's already known. You say what you want. You may have heard of the Secretary of State's office before, because maybe you had to go start a business. You had to go there to get your business license, and maybe you had to go maybe they can send you something maybe they sent you your voter ID card, not voter ID card because we don't have those. Maybe they sent you your voter thing. You heard or seen them before. Right? So that's going to make it easier. Here is another reason why that bureau is a bad thing. So I already mentioned it too. It's not only for us as American freedmen. It's not. That's going to be a problem too. That means almost anybody's going to be able to walk in there 5 years from now. We think that's going to cause some legal troubles, because people are going to be fighting over who's actually going to be able to get stuff from there. And then the other thing to mention, brother, is to be honest, that bureau is already being underfunded. Already. Okay. And we know, as people who live in this state, as regular people, what happens when you have a government system that doesn't have enough money to do what it's supposed to do. That's a way to kill it. That's a way for it to die, either for it to die or for it to be killed. Same difference. So those are some big problems. Now, let me, again, I keep saying it, but from our perspective, we have a solution, and the solution is a specific division of American Freedmen Affairs, specifically for us, that doesn't sit inside a law enforcement agency, that has existing resources that it can pull from, that was written also by genealogists. Let's say this too: the language that you're seeing in front of you was also part of this, and when we worked on this language with genealogists, the people who was going to be doing the study helped us write this. So there's that. The other thing is not like that. Brother, there's a lot more. We got to do a part 2, brother.
Yeah, definitely, man. I know we're coming up on the hour for sure.
Yes, sir.
But just one quick question before we wrap it up here. Would there be any other, outside of it being a standalone agency, which I think most of us preferred and still prefer, but outside of the Secretary of State office, would there be any other part of the California state government that could fall, or the American Freedmen division could be a part of? I mean, is this Secretary of State the best place where it could be right now?
You know, outside of the standalone agency, that's a good question. We looked at a bunch of different options. Secretary of State's office, it fit the most because I mean, I have to answer yes, brother. You know, and I'm willing for folks to make a case that, you know, a different place is better. But I think if you put all of this together, the existing genealogy and state records that are already there, if you put that we have a Secretary of State who is in favor of lineage, if you put that we have that the Secretary of State's office, and at least that part of our government is already known. If you add to that you know, not only do we have the California State Archives as, you know, a place where people go get historical records already, and not only that we have a, you know, genealogy, you know, services that have already happened through there, but the Secretary of State's office also helps, you know, connect with the California State Library, which can also help us connect with the public libraries across the state. So that, you know, that we are enlisting to help us with this bill. I mean, I think there's such a strong case for the Secretary of State's office that I think this is the right direction to go. And even if you wanted to work towards, and then obviously also the fact that the office, the Secretary of State's office is independent of the governor's office to a large degree, not 100%, but to a large degree. So we have an independent or almost independent body that our thing is inside of now. So if you wanted to work your way towards a standalone independent agency over time, then this is the right path to do that if you weren't starting with a standalone agency to start. So that's my case for the Secretary of State's office.
Okay. Well, it looks like this is being introduced, and from my understanding, once a bill is introduced, then it will go to the Rules Committee. From your perspective, where are we at, and where can people go to kind of push this bill forward so we can get this over to the Rules to get this thing moving?
Yeah, thank you, brother. Great question. So the bill has been introduced. The bill was introduced, I believe, on the 21st of February, a few weeks ago. So that means, and here in California, the rule is every bill, when it's introduced, has to sit and stay still before anything happens to it for 30 days. In that 30 days, the bill is public and the people are asked to read the bill. The people in the public are asked to read the bill and give thoughts about the bill. Then after the 30 days, then the bill can start to move forward. And the first move forward step is to be referred to what you call, or sent to what you call, the Rules Committee, or one of the first committees. That's the first committee that is going to look at the bill. This can't happen until after that 30 days is up, though. So our 30-day ends March 21st, because our bill was introduced February 21st. So our 30 days after February 21st is March 21st. So after March 21st, that's the earliest we will start to see our bill then start to move forward and be sent to the Rules Committee. That committee then is responsible for then sending the bill to the committee that's going to make a decision about the bill. And they make that decision about what committee they send it to by what the topic of the bill is. So really for us, the next step is our bill being sent to the Rules Committee after March 21st, and then us, seeing which committee the bill gets sent to after that. But I have to be honest, brother, we're not waiting for none of that. All right. So right now, if you go to our website, you can go to our website right now. Go to the Take Action page by cjcasofficial.org / Take Action, or go up to the website and hit the Take Action button. You will see plenty of ways right now to take action to support AB 2723. If you go to the AB 2723 page on the website as well, so if you go to the California American Freedmen Affairs Division page on our website in that work section, there's also ways to support the bill too. You can sign a petition. You can tell your legislator that you signed a petition. You can tell 3 to 5 friends that you signed a petition. There's about 5 ways right now that you can support this bill. 1, sign a petition. 2, share the petition with 3 people you know. 3, tell your legislator that you shared the petition. 4, donate to the cause. Help us get this bill passed. And 5, get hearing alerts. So stay tuned and stay updated for when the next hearings are about this bill. We will notify you about when the bill is going to be heard. And that is on our California American Freedmen Affairs Division page in the work section of our website. So, this is happening now. These are things that you can do now. Stay tuned, though, for more, because there's a lot more to do. And we are expecting that we will start to see some movement on this bill really in the next several weeks.
All right. Thanks for that, brother. So obviously, before we wrap, I do have the website up. So family,
thank you.
I did put the link in the chat, so you can go there right now, sign up for updates, news, and as Chris was saying, there's a lot of great information with the Coalition for Just and Equitable California, the only lineage-based group advocating here in California.
Come on.
So definitely help us out. You can donate. There's news and reports, take action, as Chris was saying. So definitely go on that site. We'd really appreciate your help. And stay tuned right here because, Chris, we got to come back around March 21st and give people some updates to see where this bill is at.
Let's set it up right now.
Definitely, man. So let me go to the comments and get out of here. Speaking of February 21st, I'd like to give a shout out to the one and only, my mom. I love you, Mom. Her birthday.
Hey, Mom.
Belated birthday. February.
Happy belated birthday, Moms.
In the building, in the digital building. All right. So she asked, so what was the significance of the task force study?
Yeah, great question. Great question. Great question. First, love to Mrs. Glass. Appreciate you. I was just over there by St. Andrews over the weekend, working out in the park. So I was thinking about y'all. So shout out to St. Andrews African Methodist Episcopal Church. I think it's the first church founded by our ancestors on the West Coast.
Absolutely.
On the West Coast, the first was it 1850?
Yeah, it was like 1848, 1850 around there. Yep.
Right. 1848, 1850. And so I was just over there, in the second location over the weekend. But anyway, so I think there's huge significance to the task force study. Huge significance up to it. One, I think it absolutely was significant to help all of us organize and get our stuff together and get organized as people who believe in reparations and want to see reparations happen. So it connected me and Ms. Glass and Umoya and all the people who are here now and be here before and will come after. It absolutely connected all of us. It was a reason for us to get together and work together for reparations. I think it was significant because it also told the state through its own state resources and state body, one of the state's own entities told the state that it owes us. That's important. And then I think it also, there are some other significances too. I think it significantly, set us up for what we're doing now and for the fights that we're having now. And there's probably a whole nother show that we could talk about that. But those are a couple of things I think were very, very significant. But there's a lot more.
All right. It's unfortunately that the CLBC can't take up most of the recommendations and move them through. But hey, it is what it is, and the CLBC is doing what the CLBC is doing. Let's go to some of these other comments here. All right. Shout out to our good sister, Raphael. What up?
Hey, Raphael.
How you doing?
What's up? Shout out to Raphael. Shout out to the family. I'll see you all in Monterey this weekend. Just a big shout out to everybody who's going to be out with the CJ youth team. Yasmin, Sister Raphael. I'll be out there in Monterey this weekend for a BSU conference and BSU convention. We are hosting 2 reparations workshops at the BSU conference. We got about 300 youth that we are looking to be talking to. So shout out to the whole family. Shout out to you, Raphael. Shout out to the tablets and everybody. I'll see you Saturday.
Absolutely. Shout out to our East Palo Alto family. What up, Darlene? How you doing, sis?
Darlene.
Always a heavy contributor, and she is actually a contributor and associate producer on Reparations Now.
Associate producer, let's go.
Associate producer and had a chance
get the IMDb credit. Let's go.
Exactly. This is gonna be your second one, bro.
Damn, you know what? I went on the IMDb page not too long ago, and I saw myself. I said, "Holy smokes! I got an IMDb." I'll send it, and then I sent it to my mom.
Heck yeah, man! You might be in the running against Sinners next year, man. I mean, you never know.
Oh man! Oh man! Yeah, shout out to man. We'll call it winners. All right, winners.
Exactly, winners too in the building. Princess X Blessing. Now, I know who you are, so I'm not going to put your name out there, but we appreciate you, sis.
Oh, my God. I'm going to put a name out there.
You'll put it in.
That is none other than a candidate for office, California State Assembly, none other than Carolyn J. Essex. Okay. All right. None other. So please do follow Carolyn. Carolyn, drop your website link in the chat. And learn all about what Carolyn got going on. But please do follow what she got going on. And please, Carolyn, drop your information. Let people know what's going on in the chat and how they can find you, brother. I think it'd be great to have Carolyn up on here for a show at some point. Also, brother Billion as well. I'm not sure if you already talked about that. But shout out to Sister Carolyn, brother Billion, and really everybody who's putting good work.
Absolutely, yes. Best of wishes to good brother Billion down there in Leimert Park area, and Carolyn down there in SoCal. And I think they're both running for assembly. Is that correct, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Greetings, American Freedmen. Greetings, family. Nice to see y'all here. Peace. Thank you for joining.
Peace and love.
What are we discussing today? AB 2723. So if you missed it, you can go back on the replay. Yes, definitely happy belated birthday. Appreciate that.
Happy belated, yes, sir.
All right, maybe I missed it, but any current information about the Freedmen's Bureau of California, go back on the replay. We did talk about it. Actually, it's if you're, I don't know if we're referring to, and I don't know if American Freedmen is still here. So if you want to rephrase your question, if you're talking about the Bureau of Descendants of Slavery, that's still here. And Chris mentioned that, so you can go back, and we did talk about SB 518 in the chat. But yeah, that's actually not named Freedmen's Bureau, just to clarify. All right, family. Darlene in the building. Curious Child, see you here. Shout out. All right, Mom, shout out. All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Chris, is there anything else you would like to say before we wrap up? And then we're going to send everybody off.
Thank you, family. I just want to say thank you. That's all. Thank you to you more, and to the whole ETM Media family. I'll make it quick. I'm just so proud of us. Last year, we had to stand up and really stand out against a lot of people. Some people we knew, some people we did know. We were up against it. It was us against the world last year, and we stood up and said no. What the state wants to do, what the California Legislative Black Caucus wants to do, is wrong. We don't care how many other people say it's right. We know it's wrong, and we're going to stand up, come hell or high water, and we will accept any and all the consequences that come with it, because we know we are righteous. And we stood up, and we were right. You were right. Like, the things we said we could not stand by and support and let happen are now happening. And we were right to stand up against it. So thank you. I'm just so amazed by the courage of our people. And just like, maybe I shouldn't because of who we come from. But I know we got a lot of people of faith to be up against the whole world is saying we're going in the wrong direction, but because all of us are going in it, it's the right direction. And we said, no, it's the wrong direction. I don't care how many people are going that direction. It's still wrong. Man, so thank you. That's what I have to say.
All right. Appreciate you, brother. And appreciate everyone. Please, once again, like, share, and subscribe. And go to sign up at cjecofficial.org. Support us there. And we're definitely going to be back talking about this bill. We also do In the News as well. You can check that out, help us support. And once again, hit them affiliate links and et cetera, et cetera. And as always, love you, Sister Darlene. You're always a heavy contributor, not only to this platform, but to your community. Thank you, Tim and Chris, for bringing clarity to AB 2723. American Freedmen, well said at Chris. All right, thanks, everyone. We will see you next time. And please have a wonderful weekend. And we will be back around March 21st-ish to give everybody an update. And we are out. Everybody have a good one. And we'll see you next time right here on Math Media Group. Peace and reparations.
Please move item 7172 to the inactive file.
I just want to know, what did you know about bills not being brought to the floor? There were two critical reparations bills, Senate Bill 1403 and Senate Bill 13.
Forgive me, because there's over 1,000. I'm not very good at the numeric, but
it's gonna. The analysis said it's only a couple $1 million to stand it up. And his response was, we want to do it in a different way. We don't want to do it through creating a whole new bureau. We want to do it through the UC system.
So this is Assemblyman Mr. Bryant. He's mad I brought up the reparations vote. So he's preventing me from speaking. And he's trying to block my access here.
Madam Speaker, I ask that we take up file item 71, SB 1331.
If you decide to start your family tree even without the DNA, 8 or 9 times out of 10, you're going to find your family.
A great number of African Americans can trace their lineage to the period of enslavement.
Lamert was developed by Walter H. Lamert, and in his designing this area, he actually had covenants to where they would not sell to black people.
I supported the bill all session.
Then bring the bill.
Will you vote?
CLBC, can you give them a grade 1 to 10?
This current crop, as of now, it's a negative.
Vote for the bill, Mr.
Bring the bill.
Will you vote for the bill?
Bring it up.
Will you vote for reparations?
Bring it
I
up.
would love it.
Bring it up.
Let's vote for reparations together.
It's a spirit of anti-blackness, and we must call it out. And so I'm going to call out on August 31st, 2024, that the California Legislative Black Caucus, the majority of them, and the governor allowed the enemy to use them to try to keep us down and keep us as bottom-class citizens.
Just think that all the other members have at least about 10 years left. So we're not going anywhere.
I've heard it's slightly changed, and some of the advocates who were part of the coalition last go around are now expressing concerns of whether or not they'll still be able to stand behind it if those changes are not corrected.
In so many years, it will hardly be no black folks left in California. We love y'all, we thank y'all, and we demanding reparations right now.
First of all, America, from the evidence that they gave us, you're guilty.
What happened on August 31st, 2024 was a betrayal.
We know that if we don't have our hand in this process as much as we possibly can, it can be corrupted from the outside. So in terms of our role isn't done until they're issuing the checks for our reparations.
The time for reparations is now.
Yeah, right now. What do we want?